I see you. I see that look in your eyes, that specific kind of exhaustion that comes from being erased while you're still standing right there in the room. You're searching for a glimmer of the person you thought you knew, but all you're finding is a wall of ice. It's a haunting experience, isn't it? To go from being their entire world to being absolutely nothing in the blink of an eye. Let's talk about that coldness. It's a specific kind of psychological whiplash that leaves you gasping for air. One day, you are the sun, the moon, and the stars in their universe. The next, you are just background noise. They look right through you as if you've been replaced by a ghost. No warmth, no recognition, just a terrifying, hollow stare. It feels like a death, doesn't it? Because in a way, the version of them you loved has just died right in front of you. You find yourself retracing your steps, frantically replaying every conversation in your head. Did you say something wrong? Did you forget an anniversary? You are looking for a logical reason for this sudden shift into a frozen wasteland. But the harder you look for an answer, the more elusive it becomes. It's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. The silence is loud, heavy, and designed to make you feel very small. Think about the last time you tried to catch their eye. You probably saw something that sent a chill down your spine, a complete lack of emotion. It's as if a shutter has been pulled down behind their eyes. There is no empathy there, no shared history, no us. Just a stranger wearing the face of your partner, your parent, or your friend. It is one of the most isolating feelings a human being can ever endure in a relationship. This isn't just giving someone space or having a bad day. We all need a breather sometimes, but this is different. This is a calculated withdrawal of humanity. It's a total reset of the emotional landscape where you are no longer a resident, you're an intruder. They treat you with the same indifference they would show to a piece of furniture they no longer want. And that realization? It cuts deeper than any screamed insult ever could. You might be sitting there right now, scrolling through your phone, wondering why the person who once texted you 100 times a day now treats your presence like a burden. You're waiting for the old them to come back, aren't you? You think if you just find the right words or the right apology, the ice will melt. But I need you to hear me clearly. The person who is treating you like a stranger is showing you who they truly are. This sudden shift is a weapon in their arsenal. It's a form of psychological warfare called the discard, even if they haven't physically left yet. By treating you like a stranger, they are stripping away your sense of security and your sense of self. They want you to beg for their attention. They want you to work for a scrap of the warmth they used to give so freely. It's about control, and right now they are holding all the cards. When a narcissist decides you are a stranger, it's often because you've stopped being a useful mirror for them. Maybe you started setting boundaries. Maybe you finally saw through the mask. Or maybe, quite simply, they just got bored. To them, people are objects. When an object loses its shine, they don't fix it. They just stop looking at it. It's cold, it's clinical, and it's a truth that most people aren't ready to face alone. You've probably spent hours crying, wondering how someone could be so cruel. You're looking for a soul where there is only a void. You are applying your own capacity for love and guilt to a person who lacks both. You think they must be hurting too, or that they are hiding their pain behind this wall of silence. But that's the trap. You are projecting your humanity onto their emptiness, and that is exactly what keeps you stuck in the loop. In this video, we are going to peel back the layers of this terrifying silence. We are going to look at exactly what it means when the person closest to you suddenly treats you like you never existed. Because once you understand the mechanics of this cruelty, it loses its power over you. You aren't losing a loved one, you are being shown a reality you've been avoiding. Stay with me, because the truth is your only way out of this fog. To understand this, you have to realize that a narcissist doesn't see people the way you do. They don't see a soul, they see a function. You aren't a human being with feelings to them, you are a faucet. When the water is running hot and clear, they're happy to use you. But the moment they feel they've gotten what they need, or the moment the water starts to run a little dry, they simply walk away. It is a purely transactional existence. The stranger act is actually a manifestation of object inconstancy. This is a psychological term for the inability to believe that things continue to exist when they aren't present or serving a purpose. For a narcissist, if you aren't providing supply, which is attention, praise, or even negative drama, you effectively cease to exist as a person. You are just a silhouette in their periphery. You don't have a permanent place in their heart. When they treat you like a stranger, they are essentially hitting a factory reset button on your relationship. All the memories, the shared jokes, the promises made in the middle of the night, all of it is deleted from their active file. They don't feel the weight of history like you do. They live in a permanent now. And in their now, you are currently an inconvenience or a non-entity. It's not a choice they make, it's just how they function. There's a specific kind of arrogance in this behavior. By acting like they don't know you, they are asserting that they are the only ones who get to define reality. They are saying, I decide who you are to me, and right now, you are nothing. It's a massive ego play. It's a way for them to feel superior by showing you that they are completely unaffected by your emotions. Your pain is just proof of their power. It's sick, but it's their fuel. Sometimes, the stranger routine is a test. They are watching you out of the corner of their eye to see how much you will tolerate. If you start dancing like a puppet to get their attention, you've just told them that their silence works. You've validated their belief that they are the center of the world and you are just a satellite. They treat you like a stranger to see if you will chase them. And sadly, most of us do, at least at first. You have to understand that their internal world is a chaotic mess of shame and insecurity. When they go cold, it's often because you've triggered that shame. Maybe you saw a flaw in them. Maybe you held them accountable. Instead of dealing with that uncomfortable feeling, they split you. In their mind, you went from being all good to all bad or irrelevant. The stranger act is their way of protecting their fragile ego from your perception. It's also about devaluation. In the beginning, during the love bombing phase, they put you on a pedestal. But eventually, they realize you are a real person with your own needs and flaws. This disappoints them because they wanted a perfect mirror, not a human. So, they devalue you. They treat you like a stranger because, in their mind, you are no longer worthy of their elite attention. You've been demoted in the hierarchy of their life. Imagine a child playing with a toy. They love it, they sleep with it, they take it everywhere. Then one day they see a new toy. They drop the old one on the floor and walk away. They don't hate the old toy, they just don't care about it anymore. That is exactly how a narcissist views you when they go cold. You are the toy on the floor. It's not about your value, it's about their shifting focus. It's dehumanizing because it's literal. They also use this stranger mask to avoid accountability. If they don't know you, they don't owe you anything. They don't owe you an explanation, an apology, or even basic courtesy. By feigning indifference, they bypass the messy work of being a decent human being. It's the ultimate escape hatch. Why are you upset? They might say with a blank face. I don't even know what you're talking about. It's gaslighting in its purest, coldest form. This behavior is a clear sign of their emotional stuntedness. They are operating at the level of a toddler who covers their eyes and thinks you can't see them. The difference is, they are adults with the power to cause real psychological damage. When they treat you like a stranger, they are showing you the massive void where their empathy should be. It's a glimpse behind the curtain, and what you're seeing is a person who is fundamentally empty. This is where the story shifts. Up until now, you've been the victim of this silence. You've been the one pacing the floors, checking your phone, and feeling like your heart is being put through a shredder. But there is a turning point here that you might not see yet. The moment they treat you like a stranger is actually the moment they lose their grip on your reality, if you let them. It is the moment the spell starts to break, if you look closely. See, the narcissist relies on your reaction to maintain the stranger act. They need you to be bothered. They need you to be the one asking, what's wrong? Or, are we okay? If you are reacting, you are still plugged into their matrix. But what happens if you stop? What happens when you stop being the one to bridge the gap? Suddenly, the silence they created becomes a prison for them, too. The power dynamic begins to wobble and tilt in your favor. Think about the energy it takes for them to maintain that level of coldness. It's a performance. They are constantly monitoring you to see if their indifference is hurting you. They are waiting for you to break. But in that waiting, they are still tethered to you. The stranger act is a desperate attempt to stay relevant in your mind without having to give anything back. It's a bluff. A huge, hollow bluff designed to keep you in a state of anxiety. There's a terrifying realization that comes next. They might actually have someone else. Often, when a narcissist suddenly treats you like a stranger, it's because they've found a new supply. They are busy love-bombing someone else, and you are just an old tab they forgot to close on their browser. This is a brutal truth to swallow, but it's a vital one. They aren't cold because they are deep. They are cold because their focus is elsewhere. But here is the twist you didn't see coming. When you finally stop chasing them, when you accept the stranger label and start living your life as if they really are a stranger, they panic. The narcissist cannot stand to be truly ignored. Their whole identity depends on being the protagonist in your story. If you stop playing the supporting role of the worried partner, their entire act falls apart. They don't know who they are without your reaction. Watch what happens when you match their energy. When you stop looking for their eyes and start looking at your own future. When you walk past them with the same polite, detached indifference they've been showing you. The stranger mask will start to slip. They might get angry. They might try to pick a fight. But because negative attention is still attention, and it's better than the actual silence you are now providing back to them. This is the moment you realize that their silence was never about their strength. It was about your perceived weakness. They thought they could starve you of affection and you would just wait at the door like a hungry dog. But when you walk away from the door, the game is over. You've effectively called their bluff. You are no longer a stranger to yourself, and that is the only relationship that actually matters in this dark, twisted game. It's like a scene in a movie where the monster realizes the protagonist isn't afraid anymore. The music changes. The lighting shifts. You aren't the one being discarded. You are the one who is finally seeing the trash for what it is. Their stranger act is a gift, though it doesn't feel like one yet. It's a clean break. It's the universe giving you a preview of what life would be like without their chaos. It's a chance to breathe without their permission. You'll notice that as you reclaim your power, they will try to re-recruit you. They might drop a casual comment or a fake, accidental text. They are testing the waters to see if you're still hooked. They want to know if the stranger they created is still available for future use. Don't fall for it. The moment they treat you like a stranger, believe them. Take them at their word. Let them be a stranger. In fact, help them stay that way. It's safer for you. This turning point is about your dignity. You were never meant to beg for a place in someone's life. Love isn't a performance you have to audition for every single day. If they want to act like they don't know the person who has supported them, loved them, and stood by them, then let them sit in that ignorance. You are moving on to a reality where you are seen, heard, and valued. The stranger in the room is no longer your problem to solve. Now we enter the darkest part of the wood. When the stranger phase becomes the permanent state of the relationship, the mask finally shatters for good. This is the discard in its final form. It is the realization that the person you gave your heart to is fundamentally incapable of returning that gift. The consequence of their behavior isn't just your pain, it is the total collapse of the illusion they spent years building for you. The narcissist doesn't realize that by treating you like a stranger, they are destroying the only real thing they had. They think they are being clever, but they are actually being incredibly stupid. They are burning a bridge while they are still standing on it. The consequence for them is a life of shallow connections and a soul that never finds a home. They will spend the rest of their lives looking for what you gave them, but they'll never find it again. For you, the consequences are visceral. You might feel a profound sense of soul loss. It's the feeling that a part of you stayed behind with that stranger. You are grieving a person who is still alive, and that is a very complicated kind of mourning. You are mourning the potential of what could have been, while staring at the reality of what actually is. It's heavy, it's ugly, and it's a burden you shouldn't have to carry, but here you are. But let's look at the hidden consequence. The narcissist has effectively taught you how to live without them. By being a stranger, they've forced you to find your own comfort. They've forced you to rely on your own strength. They thought they were punishing you, but they were actually training you for independence. This is the backfire they never saw coming. You are becoming the version of yourself that no longer needs a narcissist to feel whole. The truth is, their indifference is a slow-acting poison for the soul. If you stay in that environment, you will start to wither. You will start to believe that you are indeed a stranger to yourself. You'll start to question your own memories and your own worth. The consequence of staying with someone who treats you like a stranger is that you eventually become one. You lose your voice, your spark, and your joy. You become a shadow in their house. Have you noticed how they can switch it off and on? One day they are cold, and the next they might act like nothing happened. This is the Hoover. It's designed to keep you off balance. The consequence of this cycle is a shattered nervous system. You are living in a state of constant hypervigilance, always scanning for signs of the next cold front. This isn't a relationship, it's a hostage situation where the weapon is emotional neglect. Let's be blunt. When a narcissist treats you like a stranger, they are telling you that you are replaceable. It's a harsh, jagged truth that sits in your throat like broken glass. They are telling you that your history means nothing to them. This is the ultimate consequence of being involved with a person who lacks empathy. You are eventually faced with the reality that you were never in a relationship. You were just being used by a relationship. The collapse of the relationship often leads to a smear campaign. If they can't control you with their silence, they will try to control how others see you. They will tell the world that you are the stranger, that you are the one who changed, that you are the crazy one. This is the final stage of the stranger act, erasing your reputation after they've erased your presence. It's a desperate attempt to stay the hero of their own warped story. But the most significant consequence is the ego death you experience. You have to let the person you were with them die so that a new person can be born. You have to let go of the fixer and the pleaser within you. The collapse of the relationship is actually the collapse of your own false hope. And while that feels like an ending, it is the only way to clear the ground for a real, authentic life. You are finally waking up from a long, cold dream. They will go on to the next person, and the cycle will repeat. That is their consequence, a life of Groundhog Day, where they are always looking for a mirror they haven't broken yet. They are destined to be strangers to everyone they meet, including themselves. You, however, have the chance to be known. You have the chance to be loved. The price of that future is leaving the stranger behind in the ruins of the life they chose to destroy. We've traveled through the ice and the silence, and now we reach the final truth. Healing doesn't start when they come back and apologize. It starts when you realize you no longer care if they do. The stranger act was a mirror, but not the kind they wanted. It didn't show your flaws, it showed theirs. It showed the depth of their emptiness and the height of your resilience. You survived the cold, and you are still here, standing in your own light. I want you to take a deep breath. Feel the air in your lungs, air that doesn't belong to them. For so long, you've been breathing according to their emotional climate. If they were cold, you froze. If they were angry, you burned. But that's over now. The stranger they created is actually a warrior. You have endured a level of psychological pressure that would have broken most people, yet you are still searching for the truth. That is your power. The final truth is this. A narcissist treats you like a stranger because they can't handle the depth of who you actually are. Your empathy, your love, and your truth are a threat to their hollow existence. They have to distance themselves because your light exposes their darkness. It's not that you aren't enough. It's that you are too much for a person who has nothing inside. They are retreating into the silence because they are out of their league. You don't need to find closure from them. Closure is a gift you give to yourself. It's the act of closing the book on a story that was never meant to have a happy ending. You are the author now. You get to decide who gets a seat at your table and who stays outside in the cold. You are no longer waiting for their permission to exist. You are claiming your space, your voice, and your worth with every step you take away from their shadow. Think about the person you were before you met them. Maybe they feel like a stranger to you now. But that person isn't gone. They are just waiting for you to come home to yourself. Healing is the process of reintroducing yourself to your own soul. It's about remembering what you love, what you value, and what you deserve. You are reclaiming the territory that the narcissist tried to colonize. You are becoming your own best friend again. When you see them again, and you might, I want you to look at them with the same polite indifference they once used as a weapon. Not out of spite, but out of genuine peace. They are just a person. They aren't a god. They aren't a monster. They are just a deeply broken individual who chose to be a stranger to love. When you no longer feel the charge of their presence, you'll know you've won. You aren't avoiding them. You've outgrown them. There is a specific beauty in the life you are about to build. It will be a life built on solid ground, not shifting sand. You will attract people who see you, who hear you, and who would never dream of treating you like a ghost. You are learning the value of authentic connection, and that knowledge is worth every tear you've shed. You are moving from a world of supply to a world of substance. And that, my friend, is where the real magic happens. Please stop looking back. There is nothing for you in that frozen wasteland. Every time you check their social media or ask about them, you are walking back into the cold. Turn your face toward the sun. Focus on your growth, your health, and your joy. The narcissist wanted to keep you small and confused, but you are becoming large and clear. You are a masterpiece in progress, and the stranger was just a rough sketch you've moved past. You are not a stranger. You are a person with a name, a heart, and a future. You are seen by those who truly love you, and you are seen by me. You are part of a community of survivors who know exactly what you've been through. You are never alone in this, even when it feels like the silence is closing in. We are all holding a light for you, waiting for you to realize that the door was never locked. You are always free to leave the stranger behind. You are finally free from the burden of being their mirror. You don't have to reflect their darkness anymore because your light was always your own. They can treat you like a stranger all they want, but the greatest truth of all is that they never